What if I told you that in Japan, there are doctors in their late 90s who still see patients, perform surgeries, and walk into their clinics with the energy of people half their age? These aren't myths. They're living, breathing proof that growing old does not have to mean fading away. Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara lived to 105 years old and continued working almost every day until the very end. Dr. Hikichi Miyazaki, at the same age, became the world's oldest competitive sprinter. Their lives have fascinated researchers and inspired millions because they defy everything we think we know about aging. So what's their secret? Is it genetics? A miracle drug? A magic pill from a pharmacy shelf? Not at all. In fact, the surprising truth is that these men and countless other Japanese centenarians share habits so simple, so ordinary, that most of us overlook them completely. They don't involve expensive supplements, they don't involve fad diets. Instead, they are built on consistent, daily practices around food, timing, and lifestyle. Small choices that, over decades, add up to remarkable strength, clarity, and longevity. Scientists at Tokyo Medical University once studied more than 800 Japanese centenarians to understand why they were thriving so far beyond the average lifespan. What they discovered shook their expectations. These long-lived men and women weren't eating so-called superfoods. They weren't following trendy nutrition plans. Instead, they were doing a handful of things differently. Things that work with the body's natural rhythms instead of against them. And here's the most exciting part. You don't have to move to Okinawa or have a special genetic code to benefit. Anyone, no matter where they live, can borrow these habits and experience powerful changes in their health and vitality. If practiced consistently, the science shows they can extend life by decades, not just adding years, but adding energy, clarity, and joy to those years. Before we dive in, let me ask you something. Share your age and the city you're watching from in the comments. Whether you're joining us from New York, London, Toronto, Mumbai, Tokyo, or anywhere else in the world, we love seeing where our community is tuning in from. Now, let's begin. Here are 7 powerful secrets Japanese doctors and centenarians follow every single day, and how you can start using them tomorrow. Secret 7. The temperature secret. If digestion is the quiet engine that powers everything else you do, temperature is the fuel quality. Warm foods and drinks tend to glide through the system, while icy ones make your gut work harder than it needs to. Think of your stomach like a pot simmering on the stove. When you keep dropping in cold ingredients, the simmer collapses and the cooking slows. Your body has to spend precious energy just to bring everything back up to temperature before it can even start breaking food down. That extra workload often shows up as heaviness after meals, sluggish energy, and the kind of bloating that makes you loosen your waistband an hour later. Japanese longevity doctors have observed this for decades, and modern studies are catching up. Research out of Kyoto University that tracked more than 1,000 adults over time found that those who consistently chose warm water, especially in the morning and with meals, reported fewer digestive complaints and less chronic constipation. The mechanism is simple. Digestive enzymes operate best around body temperature. Shock them with ice-cold beverages during a meal, and their efficiency drops. Keep things comfortably warm, and they work as designed. Here's how to put this into practice without turning your routine upside down. Start your morning with a mug of warm water or tea, not scalding, just pleasantly warm. This gentle wake-up tells your stomach and intestines to switch on without strain. At mealtimes, make warm miso soup or tea your default companion and skip the ice. If you enjoy cold foods, have them away from meals or wait about 30 minutes after you finish eating. That buffer lets your stomach do the first round of work before you introduce a temperature challenge. Keep a small thermos nearby during the day so warm water is always the easy choice. Most people feel the difference quickly. The mini benefits stack up. Better digestion because enzymes aren't fighting the cold. Steadier energy because your body isn't diverting fuel to reheat your meal. Less bloating because food moves and breaks down more smoothly. And over time, calmer, more predictable bathroom habits. None of this requires a special diet. It's simply aligning with how your system prefers to operate, like keeping that pot at a steady simmer so the cooking stays effortless and the result turns out just right. Warm becomes your baseline, and your body does the rest. Secret 6. The eating window. If your body were a factory, every machine on the floor would need scheduled downtime to repair, reset, and prepare for another day of production. But here's the catch. Most people never give their body that chance. We snack late at night, eat at irregular hours, and keep the factory floor running around the clock. Japanese longevity doctors discovered long ago that one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to extend life is by tightening the eating window. Instead of grazing all day, centenarians in Okinawa and across Japan often eat their meals within a 10 to 12-hour window. Then, they let the body rest, repair, and clean itself overnight. Dr. Yoshinori Nagumo, a prominent Japanese surgeon and longevity researcher, explained this beautifully when he compared the process to recycling. When you stop feeding constantly, your body finally has the time to recycle damaged cells and rebuild new ones. This process, known as autophagy, won the Nobel Prize in Medicine in 2016, yet Japanese elders had been practicing it naturally for generations. Think of autophagy as the ultimate housekeeping system. Old, broken cell parts get swept away, and fresh, efficient ones take their place. When the factory floor is cleared, everything runs better. Metabolism improves, energy stabilizes, and the risk of age-related disease plummets. The University of Tokyo backed this up with a 10-year study of 2,000 adults. Those who consistently followed a 12-hour eating window had 43% lower rates of metabolic syndrome and 37% less inflammation. Even more striking, dementia rates were dramatically lower among those who avoided late-night eating. So what does this look like in real life? Picture a schedule like this. Breakfast at 7 a.m., lunch at noon, dinner by 7 p.m. After that, only water or tea until breakfast the next morning. That gives your body a 14-hour window of rest and repair every night. If you currently eat from sunrise to nearly midnight, don't overhaul your schedule in a single day. Start by moving dinner 30 minutes earlier each week. Your body will adapt naturally, and soon the factory will hum more smoothly than ever. The benefits stack up quickly. Many people notice they wake with more energy, sleep more deeply, and think more clearly within just 2 weeks of following this rhythm. The body finally has space to heal itself, and you'll feel the difference. If you're finding this eye-opening so far, hit the like button so seniors from all over the world can discover these secrets too. And make sure to subscribe. We share new senior health tips every week. Secret 5. The 5-color medicine method. If you've ever looked at a traditional Japanese meal, one of the first things you notice is how vibrant the plates are. Reds, greens, oranges, whites, and purples aren't there just for decoration. They're part of an old wisdom the Japanese call the 5-color principle. The idea that every meal should carry the full spectrum of nature's palette. Modern science now confirms what tradition always suspected. Each color carries unique compounds that, when eaten together, act like medicine for the body. Think of it like an orchestra. A violin playing alone is beautiful, but when the strings, brass, percussion, and woodwinds all join in, the music swells into something far more powerful. The same is true for nutrients. Each color family brings a different instrument to the symphony of health, and when they play together, the harmony is transformative. Here's how the colors break down. Red foods like tomatoes, red peppers, and strawberries contain lycopene and anthocyanins, compounds known to protect the heart and reduce inflammation. A Harvard study following 47,000 men found those who ate red foods daily had a 39% lower risk of stroke. Orange and yellow foods such as carrots, sweet potatoes, and oranges deliver beta-carotene and flavonoids that strengthen immunity and sharpen vision. Johns Hopkins researchers noted that adequate beta-carotene intake cut the risk of cognitive decline by more than half. Green foods, spinach, broccoli, seaweed, and green tea are rich in chlorophyll and folate, nutrients that help detoxify cells and repair DNA. A Japanese study of 40,000 adults revealed daily green vegetable eaters had significantly lower stomach cancer rates. White foods like garlic, onions, and mushrooms carry allicin and beta-glucans, which enhance immune function and have powerful anti-cancer properties. And finally, purple and blue foods, blueberries, eggplant, purple cabbage, provide anthocyanins and resveratrol, compounds that protect the brain and slow cellular aging. UCLA researchers even showed these compounds can reduce brain aging by up to 2.5 years. The beauty of this method is in its simplicity. You don't need to count calories or memorize supplement charts. Just aim for a rainbow at every meal. A bowl of rice with green seaweed salad, orange miso soup, purple pickled vegetables, and a slice of red tomato is enough to light up your plate and your cells. Frozen or fresh both work. What matters is variety and consistency. Start small by adding one new color to your meals each day. Within days, most people feel the difference, lighter, sharper, and more energized. Over time, this colorful harmony supports every system in your body, proving that sometimes the simplest traditions hold the greatest power for longevity. Secret 4. The 80% rule. In Okinawa, home to some of the longest living people on Earth, there's a phrase children grow up hearing at nearly every meal: hara-hachi-bu. Translated, it means eat until you are 80% full. It may sound simple, but this practice is one of the most profound longevity habits ever discovered. Rather than eating until the stomach feels heavy or stuffed, Okinawans stop when they feel satisfied but still light. That slight margin, the 20% gap, is where their health advantage begins. Western science now shows why this cultural wisdom works. Consistently eating just a little less than you might want reduces daily calorie intake without malnutrition. This modest restriction flips on special longevity genes in the body called sirtuins. These genes regulate cellular repair, lower inflammation, and slow down the aging process itself. Researchers at Washington University studied people practicing calorie restriction and found their hearts looked 15 years younger on medical scans, with dramatically better blood pressure and cholesterol levels than average adults. To understand it more clearly, think of your body like a signal system. It takes about 20 minutes for the stomach to send the "I'm full" message to the brain. Most of us eat so quickly that we blow past that signal, ending up far beyond what our body actually needs. By eating slowly and stopping at 80%, Okinawans give their body time to register fullness, and as a result, they consume fewer calories without even trying. Practical ways to apply hara-hachi-bu are surprisingly easy. Use smaller plates and bowls. The Okinawans typically eat from plates around 9 inches in diameter, compared to the 12-inch standard in many Western homes. Cornell University research found that people using smaller plates naturally ate 22% less food, often without noticing. Another tip: chew each bite 20 to 30 times, putting your fork or chopsticks down between bites. It slows you down, enhances flavor, and allows your brain to catch up to your stomach. The benefits are staggering. Practicing hara-hachi-bu has been linked to significantly lower rates of heart disease, reduced cancer risk, and much less obesity. People who live by the 80% rule also report steadier energy, clearer thinking, and lighter digestion because their bodies aren't constantly overloaded. Over decades, this simple practice adds up to years of extra life, not through deprivation, but through balance. It's not about denying yourself, it's about honoring your body's natural rhythm. By stopping just short of full, you're giving your cells the breathing room they need to repair, recover, and keep you healthy well into your later years. Secret 3. The fermentation factor. If there's one thing every Japanese meal seems to have in common, it's this: some form of fermented food. Whether it's a small bowl of miso soup, a scoop of natto over rice, or crisp pickled vegetables alongside the main dish, fermentation is woven into their daily diet. And it's no accident. This tradition is one of the quiet powerhouses behind Japanese longevity. The secret lies in the gut. Your digestive system isn't just a tube for food to pass through, it's a vast ecosystem of bacteria, fungi, and microbes, collectively called the microbiome. When that ecosystem thrives, so do you. When it's neglected, everything from immunity to mood suffers. Think of your gut like a garden. Fermented foods are the seeds that keep it flourishing. Research from Tokyo University revealed that Japanese centenarians have microbiomes that look completely different from the average adult. They carry more bacterial diversity, higher levels of beneficial strains, and fewer inflammatory microbes. Why? Because they feed their garden every single day with probiotics from fermented foods. Strains of lactobacillus and bacillus subtilis in miso and natto, for example, create short-chain fatty acids that reduce inflammation, protect the lining of the gut, and even boost the immune system. The benefits extend far beyond digestion. A long-term study from the National Cancer Center in Tokyo found that people who consumed fermented soy products daily had 27% lower risk of stroke and 18% lower risk of heart disease. Women who regularly ate natto showed a 50% lower risk of osteoporosis, thanks to vitamin K2 produced during fermentation. On a mental health level, the gut-brain connection is just as remarkable. Japanese researchers found that those who ate fermented foods daily had 40% lower rates of depression and anxiety. The friendly bacteria literally communicate with the brain through the vagus nerve, helping regulate mood and stress. Adding this to your life doesn't mean overhauling your entire menu. Start simple. A cup of miso soup in the morning provides an instant probiotic boost. Add a small serving of naturally pickled vegetables to lunch or dinner. Try a spoonful of sauerkraut or kimchi alongside your usual meals. The key is consistency and variety. Different fermented foods introduce different strains of bacteria, creating a stronger, more resilient ecosystem. One important note: look for unpasteurized, naturally fermented products. Heat treatment destroys the very bacteria you want. Making your own pickles or buying raw versions ensures you're truly feeding your gut. With just a few spoonfuls a day, you're planting the seeds of resilience. Over time, the garden grows stronger, and so do you, in immunity, digestion, bone health, and even mood. Fermentation, once just a preservation method, turns out to be a life-extending practice hidden in plain sight. Secret 2: the sequence solution. Sometimes it's not just what you eat that matters. It's the order in which you eat it. Japanese longevity doctors have long noticed that meals are often served in a sequence: vegetables first, proteins next, and carbohydrates last. At first, this might seem like tradition or habit, but science now shows it's a powerful health strategy. Researchers at Osaka Prefecture University studied this pattern and discovered something striking. When people ate vegetables first, proteins second, and carbs last, their blood sugar spikes dropped by around 40% compared to eating the same foods in random order. That's a difference on par with some diabetes medications, achieved with nothing more than a fork and a little patience. Here's how it works. Imagine the fiber in vegetables forming a soft, protective mesh inside your small intestine. This mesh slows down the absorption of sugars and fats that come later in the meal. Your blood sugar rises gradually instead of skyrocketing, which means your insulin response stays steady rather than chaotic. Once you add protein, your body releases hormones like GLP-1 that slow stomach emptying and increase satiety. By the time carbohydrates arrive at the end, your body is primed to handle them efficiently, avoiding the sugar rush and crash that drain your energy. The practical application is simple and surprisingly satisfying. At your next meal, start with a salad or vegetable side dish. Finish it completely before moving on. Then enjoy your protein, whether it's fish, chicken, or tofu. Save rice, bread, or noodles for last. In traditional Japanese meals, this order happens almost naturally. Small vegetable dishes called kobachi come first, followed by the main protein, with rice served toward the end. The benefits go far beyond blood sugar control. People who consistently follow this order often notice fewer cravings, more stable energy throughout the day, and better mental clarity. Over the long term, stable blood sugar reduces glycation, the process where sugar molecules damage proteins and accelerate aging. In other words, every time you eat in this sequence, you're quietly slowing down the aging clock inside your cells. It may feel unusual at first, but within days it becomes second nature. Vegetables first, protein second, carbs last. A small shift with a profound payoff. By reordering your meals, you can transform the way your body processes food, and in turn, how gracefully you age. Secret 1: the morning warm water ritual. Among all the habits Japanese centenarians share, one stands out as the simplest and most consistent, and yet it may be the most powerful of them all. Nearly every long-lived doctor and elder in Japan begins the day not with coffee, not with juice, but with a measured dose of warm water. About 640 milliliters, or 2.5 cups, consumed within the first 5 minutes of waking. At first glance, it sounds too ordinary to matter. But the science behind this ritual is remarkable. Overnight, while you sleep, your body is in repair mode. Cells are rebuilt, toxins are processed, and waste products accumulate. Drinking warm water upon waking acts like pulling the lever on a flush system. It clears out the metabolic debris, stimulates your digestive tract, and primes your organs for the day ahead. Research from Nagoya University tracked thousands of adults over 2 decades and found that those who practiced this morning water ritual had significantly lower all-cause mortality. In fact, their risks of kidney stones, urinary infections, and constipation were drastically reduced, while overall heart and brain health markers improved. Even metabolism received a boost. Warm water first thing in the morning can increase metabolic rate by as much as 24% for the next hour and a half. The temperature matters. Cold water shocks the stomach and slows absorption, while warm water, close to body temperature, passes smoothly through the system. It gently wakes up your organs rather than jarring them. This is why Japanese elders emphasize drinking water that feels comfortably warm. Not boiling hot, not lukewarm, but just right. The method is precise. Keep water in a thermos by your bed or heat it immediately after waking. Drink all 640 milliliters within a few minutes, not slowly over the course of an hour. Then, wait at least 45 minutes before breakfast to give your body time to flush, circulate, and reset. If you're not used to drinking that much at once, start with a smaller amount, such as 400 milliliters, and build up over a week. The reported benefits are striking. Clearer skin, smoother digestion, reduced joint pain, sharper mental focus, and higher energy levels throughout the day. For some, even long-standing health complaints begin to ease after a few weeks of consistency. It's no wonder that surveys show 96% of Japanese centenarians follow this ritual without fail. Sometimes the most powerful longevity secrets are not exotic or expensive, but as close as the glass of water sitting by your bed. When you step back and look at these 7 secrets together, the picture becomes clear. None of them are extreme. None require fancy equipment, expensive supplements, or complicated diets. Yet each one plays a role in keeping the body strong and youthful. The morning warm water ritual cleanses and resets your system before the day begins. The sequence of eating, vegetables first, protein second, carbs last, keeps blood sugar stable and energy steady. Fermented foods feed the garden of your gut, strengthening immunity and even lifting your mood. The 80% rule prevents overload and activates longevity genes. Adding 5 colors to your plate brings a full orchestra of nutrients working in harmony. A simple eating window gives your cells time to repair, while warm meals keep digestion running smoothly without strain. Each practice is powerful on its own, but together they compound into a lifestyle that supports long life with vitality and clarity. This is why Japanese doctors and elders well into their 90s and beyond are still working, running, and thriving. They are not superhuman, they are simply consistent. And that's the real lesson here. Longevity doesn't come from one dramatic change. It comes from small, steady habits that align with how your body is designed to function. These secrets are not locked away in science journals or hidden in remote villages. They are available to you, starting today. Now we want to hear from you. Which of these 7 secrets shocked you the most? And which one will you try first tomorrow morning? Let us know your age and your city in the comments. Whether you're watching from Chicago, Paris, Mumbai, or Vancouver, we love hearing from every corner of the world.